who has taken a bit of their evening to join me in this evening's workshop. Now, workshops for me are always a very exciting time. Why? Well, I get to meet a lot of people that I only see online or only email me or interact with me on social media. And secondly, I get to understand through our conversation, through the interaction of this workshop, a lot more about what you do, who you serve, and understand in a more clear way how we can all learn to support each other. So tonight is all about other business owners like yourselves coming together and getting a little bit more insight into how exactly do you get clients, period. Okay, for some of you, maybe you're just starting out, or how to get more clients on repeat. Now, a lot of business owners, some are pretty outright and they tell me, hey, Elise, I know I do a great thing. I have this gift or I do this service, but I just don't have the flow of people that I feel I deserve to have. So tonight's going to be all about how to fill your programs, your services, whatever you do without having to post daily. This is usually the hang up. I'm not good at social media. I don't really get what to do. Well, here's the thing. Tonight, you're going to learn exactly what you're going to have to do. Okay. And I'm going to bust the myths that you think people are using. And I'll share with you exactly what marketing it takes to get your business to the level it deserves to be. So I ask you guys to take notes. If you've been to any of my workshops before, they are very implementation focused. So you're not just going to look at me all evening. You're not. Okay. I want you guys to be a part of the conversation. You will see as well throughout the workshop. There's times for us to interact and comment and ask questions. And I definitely encourage you to do so. I always say from all of these workshops, you get what you put in. Okay. So I want you to feel that you are part of the conversation and it's a safe space to share and that you're in good hands. All right. So let's dive in. And everyone seeing my screen, yes? Beautiful. Okay, so I will introduce myself for those who are just seeing and meeting me for the first time. So I put in French, bonjour, je m'appelle Elise. Now, why is that in French? Well, I am the founder of a French tutoring business called the French Tutor. And in a branch to that, I also mentor and coach other business owners and service providers using tactics and strategies and how to grow their business. Okay. What I've done is I've built a six-figure education brand from the ground up by doing these things, mastering visibility, credibility, and strategizing offers and even pivoting along the way, okay, to serve the people who my offering is for. I also help educators and service providers go from hidden and hustling. This hustle culture, I do not subscribe to it. Okay, I want us to get away or start getting away from that mindset and we've got to start being, I guess, comfortable for a lot of us with being seen, okay, sought after, and scaling. So, what is happening up here? Okay, that's going to show in real life in a tangible way. Okay, and just a reminder to start things off, you already have the gift. So now it's your time to shape it into the business that reflects you, your values, your mission. No one business, as much as some things optically may look the same, no one business is the same. And once you start to use who you really are and use your identity to speak about your business and why you do what you do, then that is the thing that's going to multiply your impact. All right. So let us dive in. We had Burlington South, whoever you are, welcome. Welcome on board. Okay, so here's what we're going to be building today. Okay, and I want you guys to feel comfortable to unmute, ask questions in the chat as we go along. Okay, here's what we're building today. By the end of this session, and today we're probably just going to take an hour together. Usually we do 90 minutes, but we'll do an hour this evening. Okay, so we're going to learn how to describe your offer. Learn how to describe what you do so that clients and your ideal buyer says, that's what I need. Too often we are wasting time in what we say, what we do, and the person's already scrolled past or moved on to the list of people they plan to contact with a similar service. Okay, so we'll learn how to describe it in a way that someone says automatically, yep, you're the person. Okay, hi, Emily, welcome. We're also going to learn why tips fall flat. So we'll talk about exactly what tips are and I've seen it more and more often to the point I had to speak about it at the workshop. Okay. So why the tips you're sharing fall flat and what to post instead. We're talking about posting what actually matters. And then finally, you're going to get the system that I use that turns interest into income. So let's dive in. There's three parts this evening. Now, the first part is all about going to be understanding the words that work. So if everyone is able, or those who are able, drop in the chat what industry you're in. I know I have some education business owners who are on that I know I have other services being offered. Just drop the industry, okay? Or if not, just write the type of service that you offer, okay, in the chat. So what we're going to do today is start off with the words that work. Because what we don't want to do is not, the word isn't waste, but to dedicate time that most of us don't have to test things out that's just not going to stick. Okay. So what is it about? It's about understanding that vague messaging creates vague results. Now, what is vague messaging, you might ask? So, vague messaging, and be honest, you've seen it. I'm guilty of it, right? Transform lives. Okay, everyone seems to be transforming lives these days, empowering minds, okay, helping people thrive. Another key one I've seen in my industry specifically is skyrocket. Okay, skyrocket X. People want to skyrocket their income, skyrocket their child's confidence. So I would say there are words that could have been relevant even up to last year that now it's moving away from that. And we're working on deepening our messaging. And a lot of that has to do with positioning. And we'll talk about that, okay? So all of these words like transform, they're powerful words. Transform, empower, thrive. It sounds great. It's really beautiful to read, but it doesn't sell. So what we're actually trying to do as business owners, and I'm just going to do a blanket assumption, is sell the thing that we do. That is the goal. Okay. So clients today are buying clarity, not concepts. Clarity comes from you simplifying your messaging, simplifying your positioning, and communicating that over and over again. So here's what I call the fix it formula. And this is something everyone by the end of today will have a version of that for yourself. So the fix it formula is up here on top. It says, I help who? Okay, you're filling in your own blanks, whether on your own notepad, okay, or mentally. I help get what result? What do you help people do? What do you do? Without blank. Now, the reason why this is the fix it formula is it's answering all of the most important questions in one sentence. So I've given some examples based on who I knew might be on this call, but let's massage a few as well. I'm going to encourage, we'll share like maybe in a minute or so when you get to do your own. So it could be for our educators, I help students in grades 2 to 4 master reading foundations without anxiety. Why does that matter? That matters because you're helping students. Okay, I'm not a student. This isn't for me. Now, how old? Who exactly? Well, students in grades 2 to 4. Well, I'm a parent. My child's in grade 6. Automatically, I'm canceled out. Good. That's what we want. Now, what do you help do? What is the result? Master reading foundations. Okay, well, that's exactly what my child needs to achieve. They're not reading at grade level. How do I get them to master this thing? And without also separates you from the pack. What is the frustration? What's the emotion that your client, your ideal buyer is experiencing? And you got to call this out because this is showing your deeper layer of understanding. So without anxiety, a lot of children who can't read, parents say they get anxious because they get frustrated, even could be a word you plug in here. Okay, you get the picture. Now, a second offering, I could say, okay, I know someone on here is a children's entertainment guru, okay, and throws programming. So maybe one of your offerings, okay, could be your formula, could be I help parents Throw unforgettable kids' parties without stress, Pinterest fails, or chaos. Just pure joy from setup to cleanup. Okay? It's about giving them the entire feeling, the entire outcome of what they will experience through working with you. So take note of this formula. It's going to be on the next slide because we're also going to have you right now craft your own version. Now, for those who have done something similar before, I want to invite you to go a layer deeper. Create, if you have one that exists today, try to even insert in terms of the without word, what is maybe a new term, a new insight that you've learned in your industry that you could plug in and revamp your I help statement. Remember, it's not about you. Yes, we don't always need to reinvent the wheel, but we do have to keep evolving. Okay. And the deeper the positioning, the more clear the positioning, the more you will attract your ideal buyer. So I want everyone to write your one liner now, thinking about these three things. Who do you help? Okay. What result do you help them get? Think of your industry. What result do you help them get? What do you help them avoid? That's the frustration. Okay. So your formula, okay, take a couple minutes to fill it in. I help who? Get what result? Without what pain, let's call it. Okay. Without what pain? So take 2 minutes and we're going to dive in and get a few. We'll get a few live, okay, in 2 minutes. Yes, okay. So Emily, exactly. The unlocking potential, man, is that everywhere for especially our industry as educators. Yes. Everyone online is unlocking potential. You know it. Good. Okay. So does anyone, Emily, I know you may have yours ready in your back pocket. So if you wanted to just unmute or let us know in the chat, what is your current, or if you've tweaked a little bit, what is your current I help statement? And guys, I'll also encourage you, uh, I serve is also interchangeable.
I am driving, but I can tell you what I remember from mine.
Yes.
Um, so mine is like I help students in grade 4 through 8 master math skills and build confidence, I think is my current one, or it might, it might be worded a little bit differently, but that's the gist.
All good. So would you be open to adding a without portion to that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about adding like without tears.
Love that. Yes.
Yeah.
For your demographic, because tell
Yes.
me why did Without Tears come to mind first?
Well, actually, I was doing some other like market research today, and like I saw a lot of like without frustration, or there's also like a curriculum called like handwriting without tears, or like reading
Yes.
without tears, or something like that. So it's kind of a play on that, as well as I have had students, come to me crying about math. And so, like, adding, like the without tears kind of plays at that emotional thing of like, oh, I can do math without crying. Because it's a big thing, even for high school students, like math can get really frustrating really fast. So that kind of popped into my mind first.
Absolutely. And that's perfect. I love that you're playing off of what I'm going to call it. That's a pretty big program, the Without Tears. I've seen that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I always say when it comes to, even that's a whole other conversation, like how we name our programming or what keywords we're choosing.
Hmm.
You don't want to just exist in the space by yourself. So what's hot? Like what is kind of catching attention Without Tears? Okay, find a way to weave that in to what you're doing, and it's real for you as well. So well done. Okay, anyone else want to share? What is your I help or I serve statement? And just so you guys know, this applies to every industry. every industry this is applicable to. Okay. Hi, Cass, go for it.
Hey, okay, so I love the one that you put together in there. So I have two. So I help parents organize engaging and fun parties for kids without feeling overwhelmed, because I feel like that's a
Yes.
big thing. And then I did another one. I help parents throw unforgettable kids parties without feeling like they cannot be present.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
So without being present, is that, it sounds like directly from a parent's mouth
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. They're just so busy that they can't enjoy it. Like they're not
Mhm.
in the pictures because they're taking the pictures. You know, they're struggling to manage time and take care of this. So, yeah.
Very good. Awesome. Okay. Anyone else want to share? What is your I help statement? Okay, we've got one in the chat. I help students gain confidence and clarity in their learning through personalized small group support. Burlington South, I'm going to assume you own a tutoring business. Yes? So this is a beautiful start. Now, what, good. So now what I'm going to challenge you to do, I want you to dive even deeper. Are your students a specific grade level? Are your students, is there even a specific subject or a specific learning angle that you're dealing with specifically? And if so, have a look even at this one on the slide prior. Yeah, and I have a feeling you may be driving as well. I'm not sure, but Burlington? Okay, they're all grade levels and all subjects. Okay,
Yeah, sorry about
yes,
that.
that's
It's all
okay.
yeah, so we tutor all grade levels, different subjects, including French, mainly a mix of elementary students from kindergarten, and then we have high school students as well. And
Awesome.
yeah.
So even if you were to, just ideas, right, to just narrow it down even more, because the tutoring space can be very noisy. So I'm just trying to help you go a layer deeper. So even if it's, I help students grades 1 through 12 gain confidence and clarity, okay, in their learning. And I want to almost hear the without part. Like why does a parent need to put their kids in extra learning sessions? What is the without, right? So just thinking about that, because how we distinguish ourselves and the language that we're using, it is becoming increasingly important. So great start, but yeah, just think about it, even in your vast offering, how you can get even a deeper level of clarity. Okay. And now, Afshan. Okay, so Afshan, you do, okay, so fashion and garment manufacturing. Amazing. So is it custom clothing? Give me a
It
little,
is custom clothing, yes.
amazing. So is it like ready to order or,
Make to order.
okay, cool. So you, oh, but you also do like a financial something.
Financial advisor too.
Okay, got it. Great start. Once again, give me deeper into the exact buyer. Who's your ideal buyer? Is it, who normally do you speak to manage their money?
Okay,
Okay? So I'll give you some ideas. Let's say sometimes you happen to connect primarily with women, right? Maybe they're
correct.
working women. I help working or women professionals manage their
Businesswomen.
money. Good, good. Manage their money wisely, okay, through strategic guidance. Okay, we're looking for distinguishing words without, just throwing it out there, the intimidation of financial terms.
Okay,
Okay, so just once again, calling out the who. We don't want the people, to be honest, Afshan, who can't exactly afford your services, be the bulk of who's reaching out to you, right? So that's where we're coming from with the whole you're a working woman.
okay.
You're a working woman, you're a professional woman, working mom. Okay, call out to a certain individual and watch how you attract
Phrase it.
change.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to change who you attract as well. Okay, beautiful job, everyone. Okay, we're going to move forward, but just know that your one liner, your I help, I serve statement, it's not a one time thing. It's not a one time thing, and something I encourage you all to massage more and more to stand out in your respective industries. Okay, so now we're going to move on to part two of today. And part two, and we're only having three parts today in today's session, is all about content that converts. Now, how many of you here are actively promoting, sharing your business offering and services on social media? Okay, we have one, I know two people for sure. Yes, I know Emily is, Cass is, good. Okay, so where else can I ask? Where else are you speaking about your services? Afshan, how do we find you?
I have a website, so it's usually through the website, and it's by mouth because usually one client, whoever has got, then they give. Because with the finances, I cannot go just knocking on the doors because people won't trust. So it
Right,
has to be the reference.
right. And it's a good point. It's a good point that you make. And I'll also share there is a way. Yeah, and there is a way for you to 100%, even if it's not promoting your business, to say, okay, pick me, I'm the financial advisor for you. There is a way, even if it's small steps at a time, to start offering your expertise, okay? But it's going to have to do with this. Now, it's not about giving tips, okay? But it's going to be more educational focused with the intention for them to go to create an action with you.
Correct.
Okay. So here's why, and I know a lot of business owners, we are guilty of wanting to offer tips. We were told somewhere along the way, give tips, give tips. People want to hear like some unique tips, and then they're going to eventually turn into clients. Well, I'll tell you what, tips, they might get you likes, but they're not going to get you clients. So this is tips like there's value for it, but hear me out on this. Tips are meant to educate people. They do that. And Afshan, someone like you who hasn't done social media, there is room for that, but it can't be the only thing that you're doing. Okay? Because ultimately, like I said, what we're trying to do is, yes, educate, but our potential buyers need to be motivated to take action and to pay you money. Okay?
Yeah.
So tips prove that you know stuff. So establishing yourself in social media, or even Afshan, if you're doing more in-person stuff, like let people know, yeah, this is my knowledge and this is what I do, and these are some of the results and the outcomes. But what we're trying to do is actually change beliefs.
Correct.
As a business owner, we've got to get away from proving that we know what we're doing, like proving we're the right option, and work on what should I be saying to shift the belief system of the person who I am meeting or who is coming across my content. Because when belief shifts, that's what equal to sales. Okay.
Okay.
I know someone on this call very close to me who is a master, like everything, a master chef. He does vegan cooking and I think there's vegan desserts now happening. Now, it's one thing to say, yeah, vegan diet and eating is the way to go. And order my cupcakes because it's just a healthier option for you, as opposed to sharing, hey, the vegan living and the vegan way of life has completely changed my health. I have gotten different results at a doctor because of vegan options and choices I've incorporated into my life. So now you're changing the belief of someone. It's not just, hey, do the thing, or, yep, top 3 ways to live a healthy life, be vegan, as opposed to, wow, incorporating vegan living has really transformed how I have energy, how as a woman can move through and be a mom with energy and in great health and do all the things because of that option. So we're changing belief systems. We want people to buy into the belief, to buy into the outcome, and that's what's going to result in the sales. Now, when I say sales, guys, I want us to get comfortable with that being what the outcome of our business is. Too often, a lot of business owners and we have a lot of women business owners and educators who sometimes lean on the side of, I just want to help people. Yes, yes, we want to help people. Yes, we want to serve and give people the gifts that we've been afforded, but the law of reciprocity says that whatever you are giving out, right, something should be coming back your way. So we need to get the resources, okay, that is financial resources, often to sustain our business, to give back and pour back. So don't be afraid when your outcome and one of your bigger goals is to make the sales, because that is what is keeping the flow of business going. All right. So let's talk about what the belief shift formula is. Okay? The belief shift formula. Now, if you want your content, if you want what you say and how you say it to turn into clients, not just comments, because we know sometimes we can get a little bit caught up what we're seeing. Oh my goodness, this person is doing so well. Everyone's commenting or they have so many likes. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Your audience needs to believe 3 things before they'll buy. Just 3 things. So I want you to not just note these 3 things, but start thinking about how what you say gets your potential buyers to believe these 3 things. The first thing they need to believe, I need this result. I need this result. Now, this is showing, it's showing them that they can clearly see that the problem matters and the solution is worth pursuing. The problem matters, okay? The problem you solve for them matters, and the solution you offer is worth pursuing. For our educators on here, if your child can't read or they cannot do math, why is that a problem? Tell them, okay? And why is what you do the solution and worth pursuing? Well, I'm going to go with Miss Emily Teaches because my child is not going to have tears at the end of their math lessons. I'm going to go with Cass for planning my child's party because I have literally missed every birthday party, even though I was physically there, by being so stressed out and pulled in all the directions. The second thing your audience needs to believe is I can't do it on my own. Now, a lot of us, and this is where I say, guys, let's balance the tips and sort of the freebies and stuff that we're offering. Because I can't do it on my own has to be a thought in your buyer's mind, because they have to realize, and this is something a lot of people are guilty of. In today's world where there's a great big internet, there's YouTube, there's Pinterest, there's all these things, and people think they can do all the things. So until they realize that the DIY is not working, they can watch a million YouTube videos. I like to say this one, because I do language, as a lot of you know, Duolingo is not going to make you a fluent French speaker. Duolingo for years. Go ahead. I actually like Duolingo. But until you realize that Duolingo is not going to place you in a French environment and allow you to flow and move through it with ease with real people, okay, then they're not going to want to seek out support or invest until they have that belief. Now, the third belief people need to have is you're the right person to help me. Now, this is where your messaging and content, however that's delivered, it needs to build trust, authority, and alignment. So what you don't want to do is attract the people that are price shopping, the bargain hunters. You got to be putting things out there where it's literally, if they come to you and they're almost in price shopper mode, you're going to know, hey, something about what I'm saying is not making it clear. Something about what I'm saying, we got to point it back to us. So remember that every piece of content you create, it should aim to move someone. Don't post in vain. Aim to move someone one step closer to believing those three things. I need this result. I can't do it on my own. You're the right person to help me. That's it. And even if sometimes as a business owner, guys, we got to place ourselves in the other seat. Think of yourself as a consumer. Think of yourself as a consumer. What makes you want to buy something? I need this result. I need this thing. I can't do it on my own. You're the right person to help me. When a lot of us go get a massage, why do we go there? I need to feel relaxed. I need these muscles to no longer be tense. I can't do it on my own. I bought this massage gun off of Marketplace, but it's not the same thing. Okay. And wow, this service, this place I've been seeing, and just I like the vibe and the website, or I like the messaging, and they really have a peaceful environment. So yeah, they're the right person to help me. Those three things were established. Okay. So remember that because belief, not information, is what drives action. Someone has to believe, okay, not just be informed and get information overload. All right. So here's an example of a tip post versus a belief shift post. So this is very specific to the educators, but you'll get the point of it. So a tip post is very much like 3 ways to increase focus during study time. That's a tip. Okay, and then you will list the 3 ways. All right, thank you so much for posting that. I'm going to keep scrolling. Versus, well, why your child is more like a thought piece, but why your child doesn't need a stricter schedule, but they need a customized learning plan. So right now, I'm a little bit more intrigued. Okay, which one would you guys say makes someone want help? Like, which one of these reading it are you? And Afshan, I know, yes, you're a parent. I know number 2 right away is, okay. So we can even be a little bit guilty of thinking, yeah, back in the day, we didn't have an option. We had to have a strict schedule for studying. Like we're putting in our belief system in there, right? But this post is saying, wow, my child doesn't need a stricter schedule. They just need a customized learning plan. Wow, my brain is turning a little bit differently. I want to know more. So this one actually draws us in. And I know regardless of industry, we can agree on that point. Good. Okay. So let's talk about part 3. And part 3 will involve you guys receiving a document in the chat in a bit. So part 3 is all about the enrollment flow. So understand in marketing, when you are running a business, there isn't this one way where all the magic happens. So when you hear words like funnel, maybe you've heard of words like funnel, it simply just means a pathway for people to get to you. So marketing funnel, picture literally a shape of a funnel, okay? And there are different stages of that. So you have to have people, they won't just buy on the first shot, very, very small percentage, but the first part of that funnel, okay, the entry point is awareness. So what are you doing to make people aware of who you are and what you do? So that is where, guys, things like social media or wherever you're showing up, it doesn't have to be Facebook. It could be LinkedIn. It could be TikTok. It could be Pinterest. Wherever you're showing up, what is giving people an awareness? You do something, okay? Now, the second piece is consideration. So someone's gonna see your stuff and they're going to stay in your environment if that's of interest to them. Awareness, okay, they do this thing, cool. Follow a few people who do the same thing or similar things. Now I'm considering, and the funnel becomes a little bit smaller because now you're seeing things that are a little bit more specific to me. So who's staying in your consideration ecosystem? That's what we've got to consider. And then that leads ultimately to your buyer. Okay, you got to think about something usually before you buy it. And just so you guys know, in the overall sales cycle, in the world of sales, someone usually has to see you, whether consciously or subconsciously, 7 times before they make a purchase. And that's with anything. That's probably even our experience. We'll want something, and people always say marketing is a bit creepy, and I agree, but like it's just what it is. You might think of something, all of a sudden you're getting ads about the thing. You're seeing it, you're scrolling and you're seeing it, and you're like, how did you know I needed this? And then obviously then you make a purchase. Okay. So remember that your content isn't the whole system. Okay. Your content is a piece of that. It's a piece of the funnel. Now, content brings the attention. You want that. You want people to see you and to understand what you do and to have you in their mind about the service that you offer. And the messaging brings the interest. So we'll talk about that as well. But you need a simple path to enrollment. Enrollment in whatever service or offering that you do. Okay, and I'm going to give you guys that simple path today. The 3-step enrollment system. This is a system I use on repeat. Okay, there's no point in sharing with you guys something I don't use myself and what I can say actually works. So it's a simple, repeatable path that helps turn interest into income without chasing or convincing. We have to let go of the pick me energy. Pick me, I do this thing. How could you not want to work with me? Well, guys, that energy, if that's what's happening in here and in here, it's going to come out in how you speak, in what you post, and even how you're showing up. So the first element of the 3-step system is about connection. Now we have to realize more than ever, people are buying into the human and not the thing. They want to see Afshan. They want to see Emily show up. They want to see Cass. So it's about starting real conversation and not cold pitches. How many times, even in your inbox, someone just sends you like it's so generic? It's like almost like a bot. Why are we just sending a flyer, right, with the thing? So start to have conversations, and I'll give you some templates to work on today for that. Understanding that your content creates curiosity, and your DMs, so your direct messages, your convos with human beings, is what builds the bridge. I feel different, and I feel a layer of care when someone, okay, responds to me personally in my DMs for, let's say, a comment I made or like a service they offer and I liked it and they started a convo. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's really cool, right? And that's giving me now a little bit more time to explore them a little bit further. And that's what you want, okay? Now, the second element of the 3-step enrollment flow is about qualification. Like I said, we've got to stop wasting our time with people who are just price shopping. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't serve a mass market. But as a business owner, sometimes there's people, it's kind of, I don't even know if it's like they get a kick out of it, just price shopping. What's the price? What's the price? Without even knowing exactly what you do. So what you're trying to do is you get in front of that. You're the business owner, you're the authority in the space. I want us to start asking the right questions to understand their needs, goals, and whether they're a fit for what you offer. So even if you do a tangible service, even if you do a service that is physical, there's a physical element to it, there's a way to pre-qualify so that you can filter out the price shoppers and also build trust. And the last element of the 3-step flow is the invitation. So sometimes we we kind of feel like, okay, I gave you all the information, you should have everything you have. But we know there's people who still need a phone call. And obviously, through qualification, you'll know what merits a phone call. So for those of you maybe who have smaller tier offerings, we don't need a phone call if you're a tangible business, you're doing a small order of something. Okay, this is this $500 for this service. This is what you get. Here's a sheet. That's okay. We're talking a bigger something. Someone wants to enroll in your program for 3 months. 3-month program is over $1,000. Well, now we have to have a phone call. But you only invite those who have shown they qualify for that because it is your time being spent. Okay, so having a qualification question list is imperative and using clear messaging, okay, that connects the dots between their problem and your offer. So this is an enrollment flow. Now, all of you are actually going to, right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop in the chat a document. Now, this document is it's a document that is a shared document, meaning that the link I give everyone, your next step will be to make a copy of that link. Okay? So I'm going to drop it in the chat right now. That is the enrollment flow 3-step template, only available to those on today's call. So I want you to open it up on your screen, okay? And the 3-step template is all about giving you some conversation starters for your own flow. Now, obviously, everyone's in a different industry. Everyone does something different. But the whole point is this 3 steps, it should exist in your business regardless. Just the messaging will be changed and tweaked. So we're going to go through that. So step 1 is connection. Everyone, let me know if you can access. Yep. So when you're in, just make a copy. Okay. File, make a copy. Okay. So when you're in there, your job is to, number 1, start a real conversation that's actually sparked by genuine interest. I'll give you another tidbit as well. I'm going to share this document with you guys. I'll share the screen. So I'll give you another tidbit. Sometimes you don't have to be the starter of the conversation. Have you guys ever in real life, think about real life where human beings operating their real world, been somewhere, maybe you're at a social gathering or somewhere with other people, and a conversation comes up and you jump in and contribute to it? You say, oh my gosh, we just talking about, yeah, okay. And you add your 2 cents to it. I want you to think of your service that you offer similarly. Now, it isn't creepy at all, I promise. I want you, if you're on social media quite a bit, hop into different Facebook groups. Look for keywords associated with your business. Child's party, face painting. Search it in Instagram. See what other people are commenting on. And I'll even tell you this little tidbit. Sometimes if you're in a certain industry, this is like super, super inside scoop. Sometimes you're going to see ads for other services where people are commenting on. There is nothing wrong, this great big world. There's nothing wrong with going in those comments, see which parents are liking stuff, and you're a part of the industry. So it's actually very strategic, I'll tell you that, to do that. Because they're not just looking for that person, they could be looking for you too. So jump in the conversation, get them in a message and say things like, hey, saw your comment on looking for some financial advice. Just curious, like how's that been going for you? You know, you mentioned that you're struggling to lose a bit of extra weight. So for my personal trainers in the room, is that something you're still working through? You're working on living a healthier lifestyle. Is that something you're still working towards? Okay. And then I just did a draft message for you guys, plug and play, but giving you the idea and the concept of how that flow happens. So get into real conversation with people. Now, the second piece is qualification. Qualification is going to be your not so secret weapon. It's going to save you a lot of time. You've got to learn if they're a good fit before inviting them into anything. You know, you'll do like a 1 hour consultation with someone and it's like, oh, really? So you just sat here, I spoke for an hour, and you're not even getting the thing, right? And it's your energy because you do the thing. It's like you love what you do. So I want you guys to start asking very direct, pointed questions. Uh, my favorite question is, have you tried anything so far? That is always a good indicator, guys, because someone who has tried something, the pain, the pain is a little bit, it's a little bit more intensified. Okay. What have you tried before? Have you tried anything before? So for the parent who maybe they're like, yes, been on Duolingo, we watch YouTube videos, they went to the tutoring center across the street. My kids still can't speak French, or they still can't solve the word problems. Yeah. So what have you tried before is always going to be key. And even if it's, and make it genuinely out of curiosity, but it's going to qualify, okay, someone who's tried something before, yes, there may be some pain, but it also shows they're willing to try something. Okay, as opposed to there are a lot of people who might have a different attitude and they've never tried anything, they don't trust the internet. So that's not who you want in your.
In the correct.
Yes, good. Okay, so you will take some time, okay, at this document, and you will get an opportunity to write out your own 2 to 3 qualifying questions that you feel confident asking. Okay. And then finally, it's going to be the invitation. So what you want to do, always give your potential buyer an action to take. Often we just give our services, and of course, if they need us or want us, they're going to make a move. No, we got to give them the next step. What is the next step in this process? Well, based on what you've shared, I really think the French Prodigy program could help your daughter with her reading fluency. Do you want me to send you the details? Or do you want to hop on a call tomorrow just for 30 minutes, just so I can get everything explained to you? Okay. But it has to be people who are qualified to even have that privilege of getting your time on a call. Okay. So for those on the call as well, please take note. Okay. There is a bit of it's a niche thing, but it's mainly about you shifting their belief. And I want you guys to, even today, even tomorrow, before the end of this week, make your own version of this. Okay. So I did an example, okay, for educators, like people who are sitting in my spot more than the educator spot, right? So teaching educators. And there's an example for service offers, right? What do most people think about your industry? You know, a myth buster you wanna offer to them. Okay. Example for my trainers, massage therapists. Okay. Most people think they need to push through the stress and the pain and wait until it gets worse before doing something about it. That's going to call out a lot of people. Some of us are guilty of that, right? But here's the truth. Your body isn't asking for attention just to annoy you. It's asking because it needs something different. When clients come see me, they often say, I wish I hadn't waited so long. That's actually a line for everyone to take, no matter what you do. Okay. And if you feel the nudge, whatever the next action is, let them know. Okay. So just examples and templates for you to tweak and work towards, mold it towards your industry, and it will shift conversations for you. That's the whole intention. Okay, beautiful. I know that. Thank you, Emily. So I know, Krista, you joined. Hopefully you can see the document in the chat. Okay, you might have joined right after I pasted it, but hopefully you can access it as well if you join just after. Okay. Awesome. So let's dive into why this works. And then we're going to leave some time for Q&A, guys, in a short bit. So why does this work? Well, confidence and clarity is what equals clients. Bottom line, confidence and clarity is what equals clients. If we do not have the confidence, meaning your I help statement, your period, mic drop statement, the formula we did in the beginning, then that's going to already put you out of the race, okay, as a business owner. You've got to have the confidence. Even if it's something you're building and you don't feel it, you gotta show it, okay? And the clarity of it all. So how are you distinguishing yourself in the marketplace to offer a very specific one-liner that the people looking at you and following you and interested in your service can say, yes, you get it. I need that. That's what gets you clients. You stop chasing, you stop over posting. Okay, we're not just posting and posting, and you start attracting the right fit people. So these are the people who, like I said, are not just looking to find out and like, yeah, we're curious, but they're actually got their wallet beside them on the call saying, yep, how do I process the payment to join and be a part of whatever you're doing? Okay. Okay, Krista, I put it back in the chat for you. Okay, the link. So you just make a copy and off you go with your three-part system. So here's the action step you can all take today. I want you to write, and a lot of you did on this call, write your words that work statement. Okay? I want you to make it crystal clear who you help and use that line wherever you exist, even if it's your website. Okay? Even if it's on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, wherever you are, use that line in your bio, emails, and pitch. I don't want to see anything else but who you help, what is the result, and what are you taking off their plate, okay, based on the service you offer with your without statement, okay? And your step is to start attracting aligned clients today. Now, a lot of us sometimes attracting the right clients, it starts with us. We have this amazing service and we say to ourselves, I wonder who's going to pay for this. I know I am like a brilliant educator, but who in the world is going to pay this amount of money? So by stepping into a new identity and changing your mindset, right? Let's talk about the confidence and the clarity. That's what's going to attract aligned people to you. So if you, just to put into context, if you right now have a mentality, maybe you're working through it of, oh my goodness, this is so expensive. I don't know if I can afford this, and it's something you need and maybe something you're working towards, then think of who that's attracting. That's attracting a similar mindset of a parent, of a client who's like, oh, it's so expensive. Oh, I need the thing, but I don't know if I can afford it. Okay. So our attraction of our client starts with us. What's happening in here and in here. Awesome. So now that you have the framework, okay, the framework, hopefully, guys, is as simple as I've walked through today, focusing on clear messaging, belief shifting content, and a simple enrollment flow. So this is also causing you to dig a little deeper and understand what outcome are you really offering through what you do? What is the outcome? Okay, what's the point essentially? And if you're building a business that sells, your content and your positioning, it must do all of these things. It must make someone feel seen. So if you are working with parents, they have to feel seen. There's a lot of people online saying the same things. What is it that you're saying that makes that parent go, whoa, were you reading my mind? Like, you make me feel really seen and understood. Second thing, you need to Offer a clear transformation. So this is just talking about your positioning. You're building a business, you have to offer a clear transformation. What is the outcome? Ask yourself, what is the outcome? What is the purpose of this? What is this helping do? It does not need to be complicated, it just needs to be clear. You also have to reaffirm your values without sounding preachy. So there's a reason why you do what you do. Why do you do what you do? Why do we offer financial services for people? Well, it's usually bigger than them, right? Why do we want to be financially sound and secure? Well, usually it's to make sure life at a certain point looks a certain way, where you have people in your life that need to be taken care of, and financial freedom and literacy helps them do that. So reaffirm your values, why you do what you do. Okay. Also, you want to make your offer sound like a relief. Someone should read or hear you say what you do in your one sentence or 1.5 sentences, and they should be like, oh, where have you been? Where have you been? As opposed to, oh, okay, here we go. Okay, what are you selling? Right? So you invite that feeling of relief through how you say what you say. And ask yourself before every post, before every interaction, is this post building demand? Are people like actually getting energized by what I'm saying? Or am I just filling space? Am I just a part of the algorithm where someone just kept scrolling and no one even sent me a message about the thing or made a comment because it's just taking up space? Okay. So I want to make sure that everyone, hi, and we'll get someone else join us. Hi, welcome. So I'm going to reshare that document for you to take away, because everyone, only if you're on the call today will you get access to the 3-part system. Okay, so just keeping in mind that all of you are ready for this. For you to take an hour out of your evening, for a lot of you to get knowledge and seek out different strategies and insights to further develop your business is already showing you, okay, that you're ready for this. And the system works. I keep things simple on purpose. There's a lot of fluff happening in terms of what it takes to get your business to a certain stage, but it's about having something that's simple. We're all living real lives and understanding that you have what it takes. So I want to encourage all of you guys to go fill those programs, those services, just whatever you're working on building, just use these strategies, okay? And the client flow will start to happen on repeat with the consistency. It's never one and done, okay? It is about the consistency, but having a system that you stick to, okay? And watch that, like I said, law of reciprocity start to